at the tip of her fingers. Streets are on fire tonight. Death is on the tip of her tongue, and danger's at the tip of her fingers. Streets are on fire tonight.
Disease, the virus is spreading in all directions. No safe zone, no cure and no protection. No symptoms to find the signs of an infection. No vaccines, remedies and no corrections. Quarantine your dreams and sell off our connections. Don't let them in, not a friend, not a reflection. Everybody's got it and want you to have it next then. Don't accept them if you wanna stay as an exception. No pill can heal the ill of this sickness. Some are still in doubt of its existence. Some call it forgiveness and some call it the vengeance. Some say it's an exit and some say it's an entrance. The poor say the rich have the cure. The rich say the poor are the source. Revolutionary say a psychological war invented by the press just to have something to report. Some say the first case came from a maternity ward. Some say a morgue. Some say the skies. Some say the floors. Whores say the nuns. Nuns say the whores. And everybody is sure. The scientists say it only infects the mind. The little boy said it only infects the girls. The preacher man said it's gonna kill off the soul. A bum said it's gonna kill the whole wide world.
Death is on the tip of her tongue, and danger's at the tip of her fingers. Streets are on fire tonight.
Yeah, so I wanted to make a quick video, something that's weighing on my heart, and today it's going to be about financing, or as we call it, poverty consciousness. And no, I'm not a billionaire or millionaire, so this is for educational purposes only. And it's just like a lawyer. My advice is only to be taken seriously if it resonates in your heart. This is not actual advice. It's just life experience, mine. Why am I making this video? Because somebody that's I respect and that's close to me and that's on the NALP team is told me today that they couldn't basically got a little distracted, participate in helping to establish for us our own community outside of the country. And you know, I know this is due to finances because basically we're living in poverty consciousness. And I'm not talking about that this is this person's fault. I'm talking about that it's also my fault for not thinking forward that we as people need to start trusting in one another, but mainly trusting in ourselves. We need to start trusting that we can support ourselves and support others. I can't think to run the National African Liberation Party without supporting my fellow members, especially my active members, you know, my sisters and brothers that work hard to bring truth, to bring, you know, resources, to bring enlightenment to you. I mean, that's saying that nothing in life is free. That's true. You know, if we don't plant a seed in the ground, how do we expect for the ground to give back, you know, nourishment, sustenance? And I got an altar in my home that I recently built, and on it I put three main things among others. Three main things. And one of them is fruit. I put an orange, lemon, and I put what's the other thing? Sometimes I put bananas, I put apple. And it's fruit, it's sustenance, okay? The other one that I put some money there for prosperity. And then the last one I put for water, okay, and without air, you're basically gone. So in reality, we really don't need to eat as much as we're eating, but we do, because it's another program. Just like poverty consciousness, we are not, okay, poor people. And I know some of you are living in some pretty, what you believe is some pretty miserable, destitute places. You know, I've lived in the projects before, and I've also lived in very nice homes before, okay? And it's just a matter of switching your mindset. It's a matter of switching your mindset. And I'm speaking today from my experience, and more so to help myself. I'm not giving you advice or suggestions. I'm just speaking my mind because I feel compelled to. And after, you know, talking with this brother yesterday, but it's a mindset. How did I end up from living in there was these projects in New Brunswick, New Jersey. They used to be off this route called Route 18. There's a highway that goes through the city. It's still there. The projects aren't. 4 buildings are gone. And I mean, it's the whole, you know, piss in the hallways, piss in the staircase, piss on the elevator. And it's all piss poor mindsets, you know? Not caring about even the most humblest dwelling places, not even caring about that, and destroying it. Okay, you know, the brick concrete walls, the fenced in hallways. I mean, it's a jail, okay? And people that live there have poor mindsets. And I'm saying that. And I know a lot of you are going to get upset because, you know, you might be in this situation now. And don't take it personal because I'm not speaking down to you, I'm speaking truth. You're in the situation you are in because you have a piss poor mindset. The real poor are eating rodents and they're living on dirt, okay? You can find places like that in India, okay? Right now, where they're sleeping right next to a garbage trough. What is a garbage trough? It's where they gather the water, but there's also where they throw the garbage in, okay? That's poor. But the poor here are just making excuses. Excuses for being broke, okay? We have some of the richest poor people here in America. Only in America can the poor be able to afford great sneakers, okay, jewelry, which, get it, jewelry, and video games and weed and other things. Nobody else is doing that. That's really poor, okay? So it's an excuse, it's a mindset that we have. America is very abundant. I don't care what the Tamahu has done to us. I really don't care. But once you start letting them control this program in you, that you need to be dependent on them, and I'm not talking about welfare or any of that, that's a whole nother topic I'll get into later. I'm talking about your mind. That you feel that you're only able to sustain the place you're in. That's a lie. That's a big lie. You know? Okay, now I'm walking past what you can see as a trailer park, which just is another form of projects, except it's trailers. And you know, I tell you, there's some nice trailers out there, very nice. Actually, I don't know if you can see it, there's one down the road here that's a nice trailer also. And this is in Bryan, Texas. I'm in Texas right now. You know, so, and these people, you know, that own the cars here and that are in the trailers here, these people believe right now this is all they can afford. I'm telling you, it's a mindset. Here in America, it's a mindset. I don't know how it is in other countries because I haven't been there, so I can't speak for them. But I'll tell you something, here, it's a mindset. It's a mindset here. So it's a mindset here, okay? It's a mindset that we put ourselves in. So when I was living in a project, and I look back now at how my mindset is, it was horrible. In my experience, I had a very negative attitude. I used to let people control the way I think and act, you know. And I was dependent, man, on a lot of women. I was very dependent on women. And that's a whole nother topic for another day, and how I got to that mindset at that time. But it's funny, as soon as I started changing my mindset and my attitude and putting more dependence on knowing thyself, like it says in the Kemetic mystery schools, okay, like it used to say on the temples, okay, in the entranceway, know thyself. My external environment began to change. It began to improve in my perception, in my experience. Okay? So just because you're in the experience that you're in now, it's not right or wrong. It's not bad. It's your mindset. It's like, what do you believe in? And with knowing yourself, I notice, you gain a confidence. For instance, you meet a lot of people that know themselves. I'll just use an example of us. You know, people waking up to our African heritage, okay? Man, these people are confident. I see them on posts. They're speaking with authority. You meet them in real life. They're dressed elegantly. They speak elegantly. Our women become, like, in my opinion, our women become 100 times more attractive. And it's not even a sexual attraction. It's more like, man, I want to stay in this woman's presence forever, because I just feel peaceful and calm. And I could never get that when I was hanging with women that lived in the projects. And I don't like using the term, I don't use it often anymore. I used to use it all the time. But I don't like using the term bitch, hood rats, ratchets, because this is all negative. It's all negativity. We are what we believe we are. As a man thinketh, there go I. I mean, this is all over ancient texts. It's in the Bible. I mean, they've been using this. It's what you believe in is what counts. So poverty consciousness is in your control. It's your consciousness that needs to change, not your externals, because your externals will automatically change. And again, I'm saying this for my own benefit too, because we learn when we speak out loud. We hear ourselves. And the superconscious, not the subconscious, the superconscious picks up on this, and after time, it manifests exactly what you need. And I'm telling you, this is so true. I'm going to give you some experiences. Right now, I'm in Texas, okay? Now, this part of Texas looks like any other town, but if I walk 5 miles in either direction outside of this town, I'm now in the vast, sprawling, flat land, right? Oil field lands and stuff. Okay, great. Well, I'm going to tell you something. 2 years ago, I was living in New Jersey, in New Brunswick, with a female out there, with a female companion out there. And I remember telling her 2 years ago that I'm going to go to Texas. And I remember even debating in my mind, how am I going to get her to come with me? Because I know she had her heart set on going to Florida. Okay? But this was 2 years ago. I even visualized, and that's another great thing. There's nothing wrong with daydreaming. They programmed us here to not daydream, to not to use our imagination. But that's one of your greatest tools to create. So always visualize ahead of time what you want, whether it's a place to live in or where you want to live, whether it's a woman or a man that you feel is ideal in your mind, whatever it is. Even if it's a cup of coffee, you got to imagine it first. You got to visualize it first. So anyways, 2 years ago, when I was in New Jersey, I was visualizing living in Texas, right? And I didn't know how I was going to get to Texas, but I knew I was going to get there. That's all that mattered. You have to have a confidence. And how do you gain confidence? Through knowing thyself and what you're capable of. And through your experience. If it happens over a number of times, you don't have that doubt anymore. And that's your greatest enemy, is doubt. Your greatest enemy is fear, and then from fear comes doubt, jealousy, envy, all these negative feelings and emotions, right? To sabotage your creative ability or your imaginative spirit. Okay, so you got to visualize. So what I did was I visualized the place I want to live in, which was a brick building. I didn't know exactly. I don't get detailed. I don't get specific. I just visualize. That's another thing. If you start putting and I used to do this. I'm sharing through example, because you're taught this way. We're taught details since birth. Plus, your mind is always picking up on details and trying to label stuff because it wants to know. it just feels more secure that way. And so very detail oriented, man. I used to think, oh, I'm gonna live in this type of house and this. Okay, for instance, in front of me, here is a truck, right? So, oh, I'm gonna have a blue, navy blue truck, and it's gonna be a Chevy, right? And it's gonna have dirt and mud on the side, and it's gonna, see, I'm too much detail. All you gotta say is, listen, I'm gonna be driving a pickup truck, it's gonna be blue, it's gonna have, let's say, some nice rims or whatever. That's it. And let the universe do the rest. And don't even try to figure out how. That's another problem, trying to figure out. And you're blocking, you're getting away. Because what the new verse all around us is gonna do, the new verse is the universe. And the new were the original people that were created here. And in what is now Sudan. And it's all around. It's black matter, it's all around. It's the energy. The matter and energy is here to help us in our life adventure here. And what you do is you block it by trying to figure it out yourself, by trying to use your mind. Just let it go. So that's what I did. I want to live in a brick house in Texas, and I want to live there as a roommate with my boy that I came to respect, that I knew from Jersey like 3-4 years ago. And I was telling her this, and she was like, oh, okay, cool, because she believed in the same thing. But see, I didn't put a timeline on it. I went through a lot of stuff before I got to right now. So right before I got before this camera, I went through a lot of stuff. I was in California, I was in Florida, I was in North Carolina. I was in all these places before I got to Texas, but I got there. You see what I'm saying? So another big factor is we have the patience. You're very impatient like I am. You're very impatient like I am. You can basically expect poverty to be in your life or to be broke forever. I'm just being honest. It's coming from many years of experience. Because you're not allowing the universe to work, or the new verse. You're not allowing the new verse to work and do its magic. And we're living in a magical land right now, a land of illusion. So you gotta think that time is really relative. It's not really real. Man created time. So when you have impatience and you expect stuff to happen right away, you're acting out in fear. And again, fear, like I said before, brings in doubt, worry, jealousy, and all these things, which will block you or block your imagination from being creative, because your creative imagination can only work through love. And when this brother contacted me back and said, hey man, you know, I'm just real busy with work and I can't help you right now. I don't force, I don't try to try to sales pitch, oh, I really need you to, okay. Work through love, because I know the new verse is working, and it makes me have to work harder at what I can do. So you were constantly being challenged, and people that love to be in poverty consciousness would rather complain than to step up to the plate and accept the challenge. See, the easier way for me is to get a job, like these people over here, is to get a job, right? To get a job, to work at this. It's a window plant. That's all it is. It's a window plant. They make windows, make glass frames. And the guy that owns this place is making the most money. And again, it's another pyramid. Everything is a pyramid. Like I said in other videos, as above, so is below. Everything is running off sacred geometry. So this man that owns this building here is making the most money, while the guys that are walking out of this building or the woman that's getting out of her car are making the least. So the question is, which one do you want to be? Which one do you want to be? That's the real question. And for me, I want to be the guy that owns the building. And I'm unapologetic about this now. I used to say, oh, well, you know, nothing to take away from the people working at the bottom, but who wants to be a slave? Let's just be real. And honestly, who wants to be a slave? I think a lot of us do. We're doing slave work, right? We're working at jobs. Even myself, I've got a little job, but I do it part-time, you know? So I'm working on what I love to do, because I'm a creator. So over the weekend, you know, I'm a salesman too, so I sold a bunch of stuff that I created. I finished a couple of books that I plan on selling. One of them is called Wild Dreams, Big Great Adventure. It's about my hitchhiking experience in 2014. It's an inspirational book. It's a book to help you get over your fears, and it's showing and teaching through experience, which experience is the best teacher. My other one is a fiction, and it's called Author of Confusion, and it's because of my passion for the homeless and mentally ill people in our society. So it's almost like that movie, if you ever seen A Beautiful Mind, but 100 times better. So, but yeah, I used to be apologetic for people that choose slavery. I'm not doing that anymore. And yes, today it's a choice. There's nobody whipping our ass. There's nobody that's like right now, unless I do something that's off the wall. And even if I do and wait around, I'm not gonna be put in handcuffs. Because I've done stuff like that, left, and nothing happened. It's all in your mind. It's all in your mind. Everything is in your mind. So right now it's choice. It's choice. What do you choose? How are you using your free will every day? Are you waking up depressed, angry, miserable because you have to live in the dirty, cockroach infested, which I've lived in, with the roaches coming out of the couch, roaches coming out of the freezer. I used to live in Pennsylvania, in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And I lived with a woman out there. What was I doing living with the woman? I'm not ashamed to admit it, I was selling drugs. And she was selling drugs for me. She was one of the people that was selling drugs for me. And I used to live with her, and she had cockroaches in her freezer. And I remember looking at the freezer because I was hungry, and I was like, what the hell is this? And it was like one of those moments of clarity, like, wow. But that's all a mindset. How hard is it to clean up your place? And you can set traps, you can spray, you can, even if people next door to you have it coming in, you can bomb the place, you can complain to the manager. You are a creator. You don't have to settle. This woman was settling. And I didn't stay there long. And I didn't deal with her long either. Because her mindset reflected what I was seeing. It was a piss poor mindset. And a lot of us have it. Including myself at one time. I'm not doing that. I don't do that anymore today. Now how do I, because I don't want to make this all about the problem, I want to give a solution. So how do we change our situations? This is how you change. It starts really small. And this was taught to me by somebody that I love dearly, and he's no longer with me anymore. It starts with simple change. Because everything's changed, whether we like it or not. Everything. You can't stop change. Just like you can't stop the earth from rotating on its axis. You can't do it while you're physically in this body. So you might as well accept it, learn, and you might have, look, little dogs. So you might as well learn to figure out a strategy, and that's how it is down here on Terra or Earth. Everything's about strategy, plans, execution, action. So how do we change? Start with your socks. Which one? Consciously, you have to be conscious too. You have to stop taking things for granted or accepting things the way they are. Be conscious about everything. I'm even conscious about how I brush my teeth or how I hold this paper towel in my hand. I'm even conscious about that. Everything. Be aware. Be like in nature. Be like animals in nature, okay? Be like, see the trees? There's probably squirrels in there and everything. If you ever notice squirrels, they're never relaxed. Everything that's out here that's an animal, insect, everything other than human beings never gets fully relaxed. And that's how you should be, never fully relaxed. You can't. And that's why we're always chasing in drugs, alcohol, we're always trying to be relaxed. Okay, but you're not supposed to be like that. You're always supposed to be aware as long as you're awake, right? So that's the first step. Second step is change small things. What do you change? Everybody wears socks that I've met. Somebody owns at least one pair of socks. Be conscious of how you put your socks on. If you notice that you're putting your sock on your right foot first, change it to your left foot. Real simple. Do it. If you put your wallet, and I do this still too, to feel the uncomfortability so that I know it's illusion. If you like your wallet in your back pocket, put it in your right hand side pocket. If you have it in your right hand side pocket, put it in your back pocket. Do that for a couple of days, you're gonna feel your wallet. Everywhere you go, you're gonna feel your wallet. Then all of a sudden, you're not gonna feel it anymore. It's all an illusion. See what I'm saying? And this starts to flow. When you wake up in the morning, even if you got a ton of bills, a ton of kids, and you're just going out of your mind, force yourself to think of something that makes you happy. From your past, think of something. Whether it was the nice date you had in the public park with the guy that you like, or it was a funny movie with what's his name, Cat Williams, or Mike Epps, you know, two of my favorite comedians, you know. And I do that too. When I start feeling, I don't let myself get depressed today. I don't do it. And this is one of the ways. I can feel it now. And I'm not even depressed, but I can feel it coming on. Or I can feel something that's going to weigh heavy on my heart. I can feel it now. And that's another thing. We have to start feeling more. Men too. Big time. This is one of our weaknesses. You have to feel. This is how animals sense their environment. This is how intuition works, synchronicity. All these things work to our advantage. We're supposed to be feeling, not thinking. Feeling. We're not supposed to be thinking more than we feel. Okay? And so you gotta feel your environment. I'm wiping my forehead because if anybody's lived in Texas, man, it's hot. And but you have to feel your way out of things. How do you feel? When you walk in a room with somebody and you get that vibe, like, man, I do not want to be here, something's about to go down, leave. That's your intuition. That's somebody's telling you inside of you, your higher self, your higher conscious, your higher power, the Most High, God, Buddha, Allah, anything you want to call it, Ptah, Asar, Set, anything you want to call it, telling you that, yo, I'm a lot smarter than you because you can't see me, and this is your intuition. It's telling you. It's your internal radar. That's all your intuition is. It's your internal radar telling you to leave. Same thing with poverty consciousness. When you get some money in your hand and you know, shoot, man, I just ate, but here I go again buying some ice cream, some pizza, and I really don't need to be spending this money, don't spend it. And this will acquire discipline within you. Or if you know that eating this cheeseburger again, and believe me, I slip up too. You know, I'm striving to be a full-time vegetarian. I'm striving to be eventually a vegan. I'm striving to do all these things. Hell, if I could, I'd strive to be a breatharian. What is that? Somebody that lives solely off of the air. And it is possible. It's all in your conscience, okay? We're really not supposed to be dependent on anything here. We are the divine beings in the flesh, just like it says in the biblical story. But we've been programmed to think different since birth, out of ignorance, okay? Remember, it's not know thyself, it's out of ignorance now, in the matrix here. But here's the point, okay? So if you're going to buy a cheeseburger that you know is going to put on an extra pound, but you're just doing it because it feels good, you have to be conscious of this now. You have to realize that, no, I'm not going to do this because I know the end result from experience. And we're not children anymore. It's time to grow up, Africans. It really is. It's time to grow up. It's time to think for ourselves again. This is our biggest problem, is our poverty consciousness. We don't trust each other, okay? And we don't trust that we have the power to employ ourselves. If you're working right now and you've been at the job for a long time, I'm not telling you to quit the job. So if you've been at a job, let's say for 10 or 20 years, I'm not telling you to quit the job. I mean, that would be, in my opinion, that wouldn't be smart or intelligent. But what I'm saying is maybe you could cut back in your hours. Maybe you could spend more time, or just like an hour a day, or not even, spend like a couple hours on the weekend working on something that you love to do. Did you used to love to write as a kid? Did you love to paint? Did you like to design little dresses on Barbie dolls? Whatever. Go do that. Start making money for yourself, because you are a creator, Africans. You are the original creators of the planet. And once we start realizing that, then we'll get out of this poverty, man. We'll get out of this poverty consciousness. And that's how it all starts. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm not a millionaire, I'm not a billionaire, but I believe I am. And I used to always say this. I used to always say that just because a man wears rags doesn't mean that he's not a millionaire in his heart. Man, I used to be homeless. I was homeless a lot of times in my life. I notice most free thinkers, or people that think outside the box, they're usually homeless, right? Because these things right here, which I currently live in right now, which you would call a house, is really a box. Okay, that's a box. This is the box across the street here. I don't know if you can see it. It's a building, that's a box. That's a tree, that's nature, or to netter, or nitaru, or netaru. It's a box. Look at the cars, boxes. Look at the van, boxes on wheels. Everything's a box. In the Matrix, they try to put you in a box. Why? See? Know thyself. They put you in a box because it resembles the caves that the Tamahu used to live in. This is where the Tamahu is most comfortable. Okay, so if you try to get out of the box, you're going to serve some type of penalty. They'll either try to put you in a more secure box, which is a jail or prison, or you got to live out here. And if you're strong, like I was at those times, not in the beginning, because remember, programmed not to like nature. So no, in the beginning I was weak, but as I got past all that negative, virus-filled programming, I began to actually like it. Some of you now might be like, whoa, this dude likes being homeless? No, I don't like being homeless. What I mean is I like the freedom that we used to have by being in tune with nature, being out here, and not constantly living in something like this. A box. Okay, a box. It's all boxes, squares and rectangles. It consists of boxes, man. They're all enclosed. So the deal is this, is that I used to walk around thinking I was a millionaire. Confidence and everything. And it gave me a heck of a lot more confidence where I started meeting people when I was homeless that invite me into their penthouses, would invite me to their wealthy homes, would invite me. And another thing is I would just learn. I would watch programs, or I don't watch TV, but I'd read books or programs and develop the vocabulary to speak like these people. And I'm telling you, like I said, as a man thinketh, so is he. So boom. I started thinking more positive. I was thinking that I already had the millions in my pocket that I eventually have. And my outer experience started to change. Okay? And then I eventually ended up in better situations that I really want to be in. And one last thing is, the more you think about something, the less you're going to attract it. Because again, you're putting control. Everything in the new verse is not based on control. That's why nobody knows how this actually really started. I mean, there's stories from the golden egg from Kemet, or ancient Egypt, to the Most High in Israel creating it in 7 days, to the Big Bang Theory. But nobody can get up right now anywhere on a podium and say, yeah, this is exactly how the new verse started. Because we'll never know, because a new verse will never be controlled. It's constantly growing. And anything that has growth can never be controlled. You can't stop that. You can't stop growth. How are you going to stop it? You can't see it, just like change. So you might as well accept it and strategize for it, just like with poverty consciousness. So if you're living in a situation now that you don't like, you hate not attracting money, you hate living in dirty, stinky places, you hate dealing with negative, rude people, change. Change. And I once heard someone wise say, in order for change, you have to be it. You have to be the change. You have to. You can't wait on anybody else. Has it been working?